Peter, light them first. You light them first.
There should be matches there.
Just help me, I don't know how to do it. No, let's just use these matches. Oh.
It feels like a religious school. Everybody's like...
Wait in case I sit at the light.
So weird. Is the other one on? Naomi? Is the other one on?
It's not happy.
There might be trick cameras.
It started and then it... Do you think it was a match?
I don't know.
I don't know if this is the last match.
Oh,
Well,
look
there
at
is-
it
there is-
with great passion. Hang on. It's the last match.
Well, there is a lighter.
Let's hope so.
Shuffle.
Shuffle it a
With your
little.
thumb.
Shuffle it a little. Okay, you go shuffle the other one, and I'll try and shuffle this one. How's that?
Oh, it's gone out as
Oh,
well.
it's gone on. Okay, keep going.
It's not shaking.
What sort of candles are these?
We shuffle the candles, just in case you didn't know what it was. I'm making a mess. I'll deal with it afterwards. It's malacha, but who cares at this point? Got it? Have you shuffled it
I'm
enough?
going to take the whole
Got
top
a
off.
knife. If
You
that's
got a knife? No, not on the beam.
not on the beaver.
No.
Okay.
Anywhere else? Bima, yes. Okay. No?
Is
Do
it
we
done?
have any? This one has been shochled by the rabbi. There you go. It works.
Is it enough?
Yeah, it has a thing. Yes.
Okay, so where's that lighter?
Whether it's an etrog or a candle, it has a thing. Come on, I'm getting a little slap hand with this.
Has anyone got a match or a lighter? Thanks.
Okay, that one doesn't work.
Apparently not.
It's an anti-Semitic
I
candle.
don't know where the one is.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, I need to get you some matches. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Which one have you shuffled
How did you do it? Did it work?
I just pressed it.
Okay.
But we had a much better one.
I don't know. I don't smoke, so I don't know. You do this one as well.
Why don't you do this one and she'll say the blessing. It's, okay. I shuffled it. It has a thing. It has a thing.
Mazel
People, there you go.
Thanks, Jess.
Mazel tov. Okay. No, she's saying it.
I don't know what page, but it doesn't matter. Can I go?
Yeah. 118.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
And she can sing. No. Yes, you're coming back for the high holidays. You don't even have a choice. There you go. Okay.
Did you give it back on? Give it the light for the lady.
Who's nog? Okay. Have a seat, people. You're also the first congregation that stands when someone lights the candles. Okay. We can do, I'm trying to see if there's anything else interesting in here. L'chuna Ranana on page 113. Let's do that.
L'chuna Ranana l'Adonai, l'chuna Ranana l'Adonai, 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 Nariya l'tzur yishenu, Nariya l'tzur yishenu, 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 nekadma, fana betoda, nekadma, fana betoda, 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 bismirot, narialo, bismirot, narialo, bismirot, narialo.
You have to wait. I can't do two things. As we say in Yiddish, I can't dance at two weddings with one tuchus. You can try, but I'd fail miserably at it. Okay. Man kann nicht tanzen auf zwei Chasnes mit ein tuchus. Also, okay. Let's see. All right. We're on page 132. Ada. Who is Ada? This one. Okay. Hi. Lechune Ranera. I want to hear you sing, even if we only have a small amount of people.
We just done it.
Oh, we just did it?
Yes.
Oh, never mind. I'm a little confused with all these people who are asking me things and I have to answer it. Like, where were we? Okay.
We're on Orzaru.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Do I want to say something? Is there a nice reading? And most of the readings I go like, nah, nicht so. Okay, then we'll just go right into Orzaru ala Tzadik.
Orzaru ala Tzadik, Ulishvele Simcha. Orzaru ala Tzadik, Ulishvele Simcha. Orzaru ala Tzadik, Ulishvele Simcha. Ulishvele Simcha. Orzaru ala Tzadik, Ulishvele Simcha. Ulishvele Simcha. Orzaru la tzadik, oh Yisrael simcha. Oh zarua, la tzadik, oh Yisrael simcha. Oh zarua, la tzadik, oh Yisrael simcha. Oh Yisrael simcha. Oh zarua, la tzadik, oh Yisrael simcha. Oh Yisrael simcha. Oh Yisrael simcha.
All right. Sorry, people, I got a little confused by all of it, but okay. Sing to the Eternal One a new song is an interesting prayer in that it has a lot to do with you. You can say the same blessings, the same prayers every year for as old as you are, and there'll be one Friday night or one high holidays or one moment that you look and you'll see a word that has been there all the time and you just didn't see it. So what they're really talking about is that it's what you bring from yourself that will cause it to become a new song to the Eternal. Shir Ladonai.
שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, וספרו מיום ליום ישועתו. זמרו בגויים, כבודו. זמרו בגויים, כבודו. עוד בהדר לפניו, עוד בהדר לפניו, עוז ותפארת במקדשו, עוז ותפארת במקדשו, באדוני, באדוני, שמיים עשה, באדוני, באדוני, שמיים עשה.
Make one corner. Take one corner off, you'll see the sticking. People, too many things tonight. It's like, oh, not very Shabbosdik, most of them, but okay. Okay. Okay, we're on page 136, and My answer is always the same. Your rabbi doesn't know anything about music. I know how to daven, and if I can daven it, you can daven it. So that means I want to hear you. In tune, out of tune, singing. Yes? Okay, we're on page 136. מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בני אלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, כל אדוני על המים אל הכבוד, הרים אדוני על מים, על מים, על מים רבים. על מים, על מים, על מים רבים. Let me swallow. כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש, כל אדוני יחלל איילות, ויחצוב יערות, ובחלו כולו מכבוד, כולו מרכבות, כולו מרכבות. Okay. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו השלום. I've been doing this 6 weeks, people. I expect this to be perfect in pitch, even if I am out of pitch. The HHD on page 138. And try to get rid of that frog in my throat. And at myself, do I remember it? Okay, I'm going to teach you a very simple, it could be a nigun, or it could be a 2-sentence prayer. And again, the rule is if I can do it, and I am not like Jessica, a musician, I'm just your humble rabbi, there you go. It's called Ivdu et Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav birnana, lefanav birnana. And it's very simple. Ivdu et Hashem besimcha, ivdu et Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav birnana, lefanav birnana. Let's try that. Ivdu et Hashem besimcha, ivdu et Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav birnana, lefanav birnana. If I can do it, and I'm not a singer, you can do it. Let's hear it one more time. Ivdu et Hashem besimcha, ivdu et Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav birnana, lefanav birnana. So just serve the Almighty with a lot of joy and come in front of the Almighty with pleasure and nachas, as we say in the old country. Nachas shepen. Anyway, it's very simple, so if I can do it, you can do it. All right. Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat, Psalm 92.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נאווה, ועלי היגיון בחינוך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון. כשמחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך נענה. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון. On page 142, you know it because you've been hearing me sing it for the last couple of weeks. And I really don't know anything about music, just know that and understand that. But I know to daven. Okay, Shalom Aleichem only works if you sing it with me. Every stanza is the same. You can sing a little higher or lower, and I'll try and keep my tune. How's that? Okay, let's try that. Shalom Aleichem, Malchei HaSharet, Malchei Elyon, Malchei Elyon, Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malchei Elyon, Malchei Elyon, Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Borchoni Leshalom, Malchei HaShalom. I'm not hearing you. Malchei Elyon, Malchei Elyon, Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's hear you. Tzeitichem Leshalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malchei Elyon, Malchei
It's much nicer if I hear you. We're on page 144, Chatzi Kaddish. Join in. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba. V'yalmad yivrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye lechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imeru. יהי שמי רבה מרח ללם מלמי על מיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. Would you please open the ark for the barley?
Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, die, die,
Have a seat. Jessica, may I read Mari Varavim? It's one of my favorite prayers. I think you'll give me permission. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Mari Varavim b'chokhmah, poteach sharim, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים, במשמורותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. Baruch atah Adonai. Hamariv Aravim. We're on page 149, the first reading in the English, and as I said last week, you read it, and I'm listening to it. Go. Praise to you. So now it becomes a prayer. I'm trying to tell people that when I grew up, yes, we had a chazan. We had a chazan with a huge voice. He was also huge. Mitaboy chazoy. He was a big man. He took up a lot of space, emotionally and physically, right? But the nice thing was, once we started a prayer, people would be allowed to trickle in on their own rhythm. And then you get, all of a sudden, it goes from just reading, you elevate it into a prayer. Because nobody reads the same way. Some people do it slowly, some people do it fast. And if you then hear it sort of ripple through the congregation, that actually makes it a prayer. It doesn't matter what language you do it in. So on occasion, I just want to hear you all say the same things in your own way. Anyway, gives me nachas, gives me pleasure. Ahavat Olam, we're on page 150. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ואבטחה אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. And let's do the English underneath. The reason why, because the other two have nothing to do with the actual prayer. Okay, everlasting love. Let's hear you. Come on. You offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, eternal our God, keep going. I want to hear you. Now you're davening. Okay. Let's go and stand for the Shema. Okay. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Have a seat. Mine is slightly different, but you can use yours, because that's the beauty of prayer and being Jewish wherever you are in the world. You can follow us along. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. On page 156. אמת ואמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. הפדודנו מיד מלכנו הגאולנו מכף כל העריצים, העושה גדולות עד אין חקר ונפלאות עד אין מספר, השם נפשנו בחיים ולא נתן למות רגלינו, העושה לנו ניסים בפרעה, אותות ומופתים באדמת מחם, ויוצא את עמו ישראל מתוכם לחירות עולם. ראו בניו גבורתו, שיבחו והודו לשמו, ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו הם עליהם. משה, מרים, אהרון וכל בני ישראל, לך אנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם. And they accepted your rule, and then Moses, Miriam, and let's keep Aaron in there, and Aaron, and all of Israel sang to you together in the words of the Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Nedad B'Kodesh, Ratehilot, Osefele, no Ratehilot, Osefele, Ma'otecha, Ra'uvanecha, Ukeayam Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Eli amru ve'amru page 160. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך, והגן בעדנו, והסר מעלינו אויב, דבר וחרב ורעב ויגון, ורחוק ממנו עוון ופשע, ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו, כי אל שומרנו מצילנו אתה, כי אל מלך חנון ורחום אתה, ושמור צאתנו ובואנו, לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים. So I always pick this translation because it has the same sort of feel and meter. So it's on page 161, and let's do it together. Give us a place to rest, eternal our God. Bring us into the shelter, into the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth, and prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your blanket of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים. We continue with, let's see, Yismachu.
Yambidi bam bam bam, Shabbat, Shabbat. Yambidi bam bam bam, Shabbat, Shabbat. Yambidi bam bam bam, Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat. Yismachu, Yismachu b'malchutecha. Yismachu, Yismachu b'malchutecha. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat. Shomrei Shabbat, Korei Onegone Shabbat. Aham mekadesh shevi, kulam yisbeu v'yiftahu, mitu mecha Shabbat, Shabbat. Yismachu b'malachutecha, Yismachu b'malachutecha. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat, Korei Onegone Shabbat. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat, Korei Onegone Shabbat. V'ho shemli ratzita bo v'kidashto. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך. שומרי שבת, שומרי שבת, וקורא ונגונה שבת. שומרי שבת, שומרי שבת, וקורא ונגונה שבת.
Now we heard you. That was very nice. We continue with the Amidah. I'd like to have Ada and Simone come open and close the ark for us. Please rise. You figure out which one was the pulling up, pulling and not getting away.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם ואלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכה חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבם, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
To continue, you hear the opening and the closing part of every piece, but in between, time for you to put your own prayers in, so you can hear your own prayers of the heart.
אתה קידשת את יום השביעי לשמך תחילת. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי. כי בשבת מכל מלאכתו אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, ארצי מנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך. וינוחו ישראל מקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השמיים. ורצה אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל, ותפילתם בבא תקבל. ותחזינו עינינו שנה בציון רחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון. מודים אנחנו לך. שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו לעולם ועד צור חיינו היום שאתה הוא לדור אדוני. נודה לך נספר תהילתך בכל עת ערב הבוקר וצהריים. ועל כולם יתברך ויתמם שמך מלכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני הטוב שמך לך לאל להודות. שלום רב על ישראל. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השעון, וטוב פניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובערב ובכל צהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע ושפתי מדבר מרמה. פתח לי בתורתך ובתפתיך תרדוף נפשי.
God, guard our speech from evil and our lips from deception. Help us to be ever modest, holding our tongues, even when others slander,
Open our hearts to your Torah, that we may pursue your mitzvot. And as for all who think evil of others, cancel their designs and frustrate their schemes, act for your sake, for your power, your holiness, and for the sake of your Torah, so that your loved ones may be rescued. Save us all with your power and answer us.
Have a seat, people. Jessica, can we have a little flash bulb that I can push that you can see over there? Because I can't see you. And so I'm turning around and you can't see me. So I'm wondering if we can come up with a little thing that you can see go like that. Because not always, because I don't want to skip you singing and davening. I just... Okay. Go ahead.
You.
Okay.
You leratzon imrefi ve'en yonibi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai
Jessica, would you do that again? I don't think I know that one. Would you do it one more time? It's so nice that people actually were singing along. Come, do it again for us. Come on. Klepper? Is it a Jeff Klepper? It's very nice, and it was so nice to hear people join in. So, okay, perfect. Okay, let's see. All right, we'll do the Mishaberach after the service. All right, so in this parasha this week, Ve'et Hanan, we read lots of things. We read the Ten Commandments and the Shema and the Vahavta, all prayers that have become central to Jewish liturgy. And this Shabbat is also known as Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of comfort. It is the first Shabbat that occurs after our mournful days of Tisha B'Av, and it is named for the first words of the Haftarah, the first of the 7 Haftarot of consolation from Isaiah. And it says, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami, Amar Adonai. So, comfort, oh comfort my people, says your God. So it's interesting. So we have a week that began in mourning, And I have to tell you, I had never done Tisha B'Av in a Reform setting. And I have to ask and thank all the people who were here with our candles. David read the most beautiful Echa for us, because of course I only know Sephardic melodies. And it was just very lovely, and it was very intimate. So we all sat here with our candles, and I hope next year more of you will come, because it was actually a very beautiful moment where we talk about why do we want to observe Tisha B'Av, not only for the state of Israel and all the people who are involved in that conflict, but because life seems very messy at the moment. It seems filled with things. So Tisha B'Av is really taking a moment to think about our role in this world and who we are and what we can stop and how we can make it better. Okay, so very Jewish, of course. We have just finished Tisha B'Av, and then this upcoming Monday is known as Tu B'Av. It's the 15th of Av, and sometimes it's known by a more positive word. It's the Jewish Valentine's Day. According to the rabbis in Ta'anit, in ancient time, this was a day when the women dressed in white would dance in the vineyards. And I don't know exactly what else they did, but right after engagements were made and announced. So it's also the time that traditionally a lot of Jews worldwide complete a cycle of what is known as a Daf Yomi, the daily study of a tractate or a folio of Talmud, until one has gone through an entire tractate from beginning to end. It's 2711 folios, 2,711 pages. And if you do it religiously, or perhaps not so religiously, it takes about 7.5 years. So Rabbinic Judaism, for which the Talmud may be considered, I would say, the central text, is of course a direct outgrowth of the events commemorated by Tisha B'Av. Right, you have the destructions of the temple. You see that the Jews leave. They are forced to leave the center of their Yiddish soul, Jerusalem. And Rabbinic Judaism includes several variants of an origin story for the movement that eventually produced the Mishnah, the Midrash, the Talmud, all those works and their commentaries on which a Judaism that could survive for nearly 2 millennia in conditions of exile and also often oppression was based. Now, we have lots of stories. We don't know if they actually took place. This one, I love this one, but I'll burst your bubble later on a little bit. So one such story traces the birth of the Rabbinic Academy to the destruction of the Second Temple itself. There are lots of variants, and it appears in very different texts, such as the Bavli Gittin and a work called Avot Rabbi Natan, each told with somewhat different aims and details. But at the core is the figure of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, a rabbi, a sage in Jerusalem at the time of the Roman siege. And as Zakkai comes to the realization that the imminent destruction of the city is nearly inevitable, he devises a means of escape by faking his own death so that his disciples can carry him out of the walls of Jerusalem in a coffin, and proceeds then to be carried, we don't know by whom because the text is not clear, he's carried into the Roman camp, and he gets an audience with Vespasian, the Roman general, who is about to be named emperor. And he is granted one request. And the rabbi asks for Yavna and its sages. What he basically says, okay, Jerusalem is ruined, you win. Are we allowed to set up yeshivot, centers of learning in Sura, in Pombedita, all over Babylonia? And there's lots of other stories that are very funny. Now, the fact that we think he probably was not carried out of a coffin, out of Jerusalem, or in a coffin, but it's a great story, even though I have severe doubts where it actually happened that way. What is interesting and beautiful, that he gets that one request okayed. And then they set up shop in Bavel. So to celebrate, I think probably the most major accomplishment of Torah, And then really also the study of how we got from biblical Judaism to rabbinic Judaism, which is what we are living today, with texts such as the Mishnah, the Talmud, and all sorts of other stuff, I think is a very appropriate thing to celebrate in the shadow of Tisha B'Av and the comfort of this Shabbat. So it has been a very long time since either the destruction of the first and the second temple, or even the composition of the Talmud, which is really a document that began in late antiquity and was redacted about the time of the Muslim conquest, or slightly before. And even though the rabbis may have been credited with setting Judaism on a path that it really truly needed to survive, I can say to you that path has grown and developed and changed in their wake. It's gone into areas such as philosophy, legal codes, mysticism, commentary, and more, and more. And despite the threat that connects them, I would say that our Judaism, even if you are Reform or Conservative or Orthodox, it doesn't really matter. Our Judaism is not theirs, and their experiences and their religious needs differed greatly from ours. So someone said to me, why even try? Why schlep around with all this stuff? Why do you even want to try? And I think the reason how I want to answer it is that this parasha and all of Deuteronomy takes place at the end of a very long journey. The Israelites have been schlepping in the desert for 40 years. An entire generation has died out, and a new one has come to maturity. Met Et Hanan, this week's portion, and the rest of Deuteronomy is not about that journey. It's really a review. It is a summation. It is very beautifully Moshe's final teaching to the people. And even though the Ten Commandments appear in this parasha, that is not a moment of revelation. It would seem to be only a reminder of a past moment of glory, only a secondary reiteration of the original. Many of the people Moshe is speaking to weren't even born at the giving of the Torah, did not live through that enormous moment themselves. And like us, modern Jews, opening a 1,500-year-old volume of Talmud, we have to ask sometimes, how are they connected to that? How are the people that Moshe is speaking to, and how are we recollecting, connecting that moment? And this is what the text says. This is what Moshe says to the people. God made a covenant with us at Horeb. It was not with our fathers and mothers that God made this covenant, but with us, the living, every one of us who is here today. And then further on in that portion, when we get to the Shema and Vavta, again, a variant of this message is conveyed to the Israelites. It says, take to heart these instructions with which I charge you today. And as a midrash in Sifre Devarim, and as Rashi, who cites it, comments, they should not be in your eyes like an old edict that you do not pay attention to, but rather as a new one that everyone rushes to welcome. A tradition, a religion, is by its very nature rooted in a communally remembered past, even as it moves forward in time. And I think that's what is for all congregations. I don't care where you fall in the spectrum of your beliefs. The key to all of this is keeping past, present, and God willing, future all in one balance, because you can't have one without the other. Without our past, we are rootless. And without a way to take our past and make it speak for our current moment and guide us into the future, if you don't have that, and if you don't use it as a vehicle, then it withers and it disappears. So this is the source of our obligation as a community to make ancient texts and ancient rituals like Tisha B'Av and the Talmud part of our modern lives, to study them, to confront them, to be challenged by them, here and there. Maybe not as often as we hope, but not ever either. The reward will be that we will experience it as if it has been revealed directly to us. And I want to share this with you, because I remember sitting at the Jewish Theological Seminary until 3 in the morning because I was terrified of my Talmud teacher, Rabbi Gerson. He called everybody a vans, a lice, and I was the only one who understood his Yiddish. This is not in my sermon. And so I was the only one because he always would call on me, and I always was terrified of him. And he would say, "Chava, they're all fleas on the backside of a dog." I'd go like, "Yes, Rabbi." But I remember one particular evening that we were all sitting there trying to understand this Masechet Sukkot. And it went into the ridiculousness, like what constitutes a kosher wall of a sukkah? Can it be this, and can it be that? And we're all sitting there exhausted, trying to figure out what it means. And all of a sudden it says, a kosher wall in the sukkah can also be done by the tuchus of an elephant. And we're all looking at each other and said, that can't be what it says. No, tuchus of an elephant. And they said, okay, he's going to ask us, how are you going to look up the cross-reference? So we were looking it up, and nobody understood it. But that's what's so interesting, and that's what I mean. Your past, your present, and future are connected. So here we're sitting at JTS, trying to figure out in the middle of New York what an elephant's tuchus has to do with a sukkah, lahavdil, right? And then also try and figure out why is it there? So we found the reference, and it says a ketubah. If you don't have these animals available to write a wedding document on, you can use the skin of an elephant's tuchus to write a wedding certificate on. And the rabbis use the concept of kal v'chomer, if this is okay, then that should also be okay, yes? So kal v'chomer, if you can use an elephant's behind for writing something as wonderful as a ketubah, a contract, how much the more so can it be a wall in the sukkah? Now, we laugh, but think about it. You go from how to construct a sukkah, zman simchatenu, right? And then you go also back, what if we don't have the appropriate parchment, animal skin? What can we use while we're in Babylon? An elephant's tush. There you go. So it became very alive. So again, next year when we're doing Tisha B'Av, it's not just mourning our temple and our Jerusalem, it's also mourning the situation in the Middle East. It is also mourning, someone said very beautiful that person grew up in the bush with lots of animals and plants, and she's seeing that very slowly disappear. So Tisha B'Av is a moment of mourning, but it's also a moment that should really propel us forward to still salvage what we can salvage, whether it's in our Jewish communities, when it's in the climate, what we can do together for the Middle East, because there's lots we can do. So past, present, and future fused. And then it becomes something that is meaningful, that you can put your arms around and not only dance with, but also study from. Good Shabbos. All right, the Misha Berach. We take a moment in this part of the service to think of those people in the community and those on the outside who might need an extra prayer. Could be because they're physically not doing well. Could also be because they're emotionally not doing well. If you have the name of such a person, would you call it out now? I'll start here and then I'll look this way. Okay. Okay.
Esther.
Okay.
Before us, help us find the courage and let us say, Amen. Visheberach imotenu v'kol habracha labotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Okay, let's see where I can't find it. So it's in this part of the service that we take a moment to think of all those people that we have known and loved. These are all the people we lived with and celebrated with and mourned with and argued with and most of all laughed with. These were our parents and our siblings, our spouses, our partners, our children, other relatives, our friends, our peers, and our colleagues. We lived with all of these people. We shared moments of great joy and great celebration, and also moments of sadness. And as we hold all of those memories, the bitter ones together with the sweet, we give thanks to the legacy of wisdom and tradition and courage, but most of all, we give thanks for the legacy of love that they left us. Peter, will you read the names for us?
In memoriam, Absalom Bar, father of Paul Mukasa, Bessie Blumenfeld, mother of Erwin Blumenfeld, Annie Cooney, mother of Reza Selnick, Jeffrey Lazarus, husband of Diane Lazarus, Jack Pellman, father of Naomi Jaff and Ruth Steiner, Mary Prebach, mother of Charles Prebach and Robert Prebach, Sonia Promnik, mother of Alf Promnik.
Okay, sorry.
This one we read last week. Marianne Putziger, mother of Michael Cullenbach and George Putziger. Isidore Sachs, father of Evelyn Trocky. Sasha Sachs, grandfather of Carolyn Massey. Frank Shee, husband of Leslie Shee, father of Catherine Stewart. Joe Siegel, father of Darren Siegel. Lil Singer, mother of Leonard Singer and Judy Hodis. Frederick Smolin, father of Doug Smolin. And Jeanette Steiner, mother of Maria Steiner. May their memory be a blessing.
Amen. And as I've been doing the last couple of weeks, I love the fact that in the liberal movements we stand to say Kaddish together. But while doing that, we also sometimes don't recognize or see those of us who are in mourning or who are observing a yortzeit. So if people are comfortable, if you are in mourning or observing a yortzeit, come stand in front with me. We'll all say Kaddish together, but I want people to at least see who are the people who are in mourning in our community, so we can also perform the mitzvah of reaching out to them, because that's really what this is all about. Would you please rise?
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויאמר יברח יוצא וימליך מחוצה, וחייכום וימחום וחיי בכל בית ישראל.
מעגלה בזמן קריב אמרו אמן. שמי רבה וברך לעולם ובני עמיה.
יתברך
ישתבח ופעל ותאמר ויתעשה.
יתגדל ויתחלל וסבלה שמי קודשה. לילה במקום ברכתה ושירתה.
ושפחתה ונחמתה, לעמירם בעלמה ויבלו. אמן. יהי שלמה רבה ונשמיה וחיים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום בברכה ויעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ויאמרו אמן. The source of peace, and peace to you are from heaven, and comfort to you are delivered by this life. See people? Don Olam? You sitting for Don Olam? Yes? Yeah, maybe? No, yes? Are we ready for it?
Yeah, we're ready for it.
Please join in. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li'et Nasa V'chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nivra Ve'achareh Kichlod HaKol Levado Yimlok Nora V'hu Hayach V'hu Ove V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara V'hu Echad Ve'en Sheni Lehamshilo Lehavira B'li Reshit B'li Tachlit V'lo Haoz V'hamizra U'eli V'chai Goali V'tzur Ebli B'tzara V'hu Nisi U'manosli Menat Kosi V'yom Ekram B'yado Avid Ruchi B'tishan V'yayira B'ruchi G'viyati Adonai V'lo Ira.
Hold on for a minute. My mistake. We skipped the Aleinu, and since it is a late addition into the prayer book, it didn't exist many, many years ago. It came from actually a Rhymes congregation, and it talks about God's sovereignty, and eventually it became so radicalized that it got into the Shabbat service and into the weekday service. So, Peta and Arkela, I don't want to take away your honor, and I also don't want to take away the Aleinu, even if I have no idea what page it is on Lord's prayer book. 586.
586.
586. 586. Thank you. My mistake. I own up to my mistake. Went over my head. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Come and open the ark first.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אין את מלכנו אפס זולתו. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Okay, excellent. See, 30 years of rabbi, I've chosen just to get the later. So, thank you, darling. Okay, people, yes.
Okay, congregation may be seated. I'm just going to make an announcement about, for those of you who don't know, next week is Limud, and we usually have a wonderful showing of Beiteman congregants at Limud. Some of you may already have booked, but if you haven't booked for the weekend, I believe that there are a few rooms still available. And if you can't come for the weekend, there is the Sunday. I've just been looking at the program. You can actually pick it up at the door. It's actually incredibly varied on, of course, a lot in our minds are issues around Israel from a range of perspectives. Of course, there's questions around South African Jewish identity, history, Jews around the world. There's a Persian Jewish rabbi, and even a very naughty show, I think, on the Saturday night of burlesque, a Jewish burlesque dancer. So everything you could want from the range of Jewish identity is on offer at Limud. So if you can't make the full weekend, the Sunday is open and there's a full day programming, and it's a fantastic experience for those of you who've never been. For those of you who have been, it will be wonderful to have a great showing of our congregation. So hope to see you there next week, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So, Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Adonai panav alecha v'yechuneka. May God's light shine upon you, most of all within you. Adonai panav alecha v'yasim lecha shalom. May God be favorable to you and give you the gift of peace. Come next door, we'll do Kiddush Motzi, and then I have to leave. But that's okay. Come, good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom. Shalom.
Thank you for coming. Thank you, Jessica, as always.